One important piece to this import process in the creation of a new class is the importing of students. And again, this step is going to eliminate the need for us to import the student information manually in these fields here, but instead pulling from an update text file all the student information that we're going to need to create our class. And again, we did that by clicking the button Import Students. Now, depending on where you are in this process, if you have never done this before, you may actually be presented with a pop-up text box or search box that looks something like this, asking you to select a file where you will then find all the student information. And this file actually would be most likely sent to you as an attachment in an email from your admin secretary or administrator, and within that file is going to be all the information that you're going to need to pull from in order to create your classes. And if this box does not show up, it is simply clicking this box or this button up here on the upper right, and that will open up that box. Now again, this comes into play when you are either creating a class for the first time, or perhaps when you are looking to update all the student information of an existing class. So for example, if you are about to submit marks in for the end of the year or end of the semester, you are most likely going to be asked to make sure that you update all the student information so that it is the most recent information, and along with that they might send out an updated update text file for you to use, in which case you are going to need to use this button up here on the upper right to then open up this box and make sure that MarkBook is reading the information or pulling the information from the most correct and recent update text file. In this case, there is only one, and I'm going to select that and click Open. And that is the end of the first critical part. The second critical part is actually matching up these MarkBook fields. And if you have never done this before, you're going to see that you are going to have this list here on the left, and this other list here on the right that now needs to be matched together. Now what we're going to do is it's going to start off at the very top, item number 1, and work its way down. There is no way to get around this. You can't jump and go from item number 1 to item number 5. It is going to start from 1 and work its way down to 15. You are going to match the fields on the right hand side to the ones on the left by double clicking on the appropriate field and then pushing it over to the other side, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So for example, the first field there on the left hand side says last. What that means is that is the prompt last, and we're going to match that up with the last name MarkBook field here on the right. So we're going to take that and double click it. When I do that, you can see how that pushes it over to the left hand side. Now the next field is called first, and I'm going to match it up with the field first name. Double clicking on that moves it over. Gender is going to be gender, and I'm going to select the wrong item. Now this might happen. If that's the case, you can clear your last match, and that will get rid of that. What's going to happen is that if you end up making a lot of mistakes and you're not able to move back, you may have to clear all matches and start again from the very beginning. It is important that this is done correctly. If it is not, what ends up happening is that when it comes time to submit marks back into Trillium via MarkBook, you're going to have some of these error messages popping up where marks did not transfer correctly, and it is most likely the result of these fields not being properly matched up. So again, the prompt last is going to be for last name, first is for first name, gender is gender, number is going to be student number, program is program, HF1 is home form, HF2 is going to be ignore this field. DOB or date of birth with the format year MMDD, meaning month and day, as digits will be matched up with DOB year, month, day as well. Now, you want to make sure that these two formats for date of birth are exactly the same. You might actually see that by default, MarkBook may have it listed off as that, and in which case you are going to want to make sure that it is listed the exact same date format, year, MMDD. And again, you saw how I did that back down there at the bottom. Clicking on that drop-down menu and selecting the proper format will ensure that these two are the same, and again eliminate that possibility of there being mistakes or errors or headaches later on when it comes time to submitting marks in for the final reports. Now, moving on, student tel number is going to be phone number 1. Guardian telephone number is phone number 2. Student email is student email. Guardian email is parent email. Miscellaneous is miscellaneous. Special use is special use. And courses is import if number 1. And that takes us to the bottom of the list, and again picks up where the previous video will now sort of continue on from this point, where you then enter in those unique digits that are attached to you as the instructor, and then thus allowing you to pull just your students into your MarkBook file. But again, matching up of these fields is critical, and it's important that we get the matching right and the format of that date of birth exactly right.